Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be testing out some new products, and I'm actually going to wear these products probably for about a good 6 to 8 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I am going to be wearing a foundation that I actually had worn already twice. So far in those times that I've worn it, I've only worn it for maybe like at the most maybe 4 hours. So I want to go ahead and test this foundation out during the day and for a longer period of time. So I'm going to go ahead and start with that. First I'm going to use primer, and I'm going to go get the primer because I forgot to get it. So let me get that real quick. Okay, so the primer I'm going to be using today is from Cover FX. I actually went into Sephora and grabbed some samples, and one of the primers that I really wanted to try was the gripping primer. I did get the blurring primer and the dewy skin, and I haven't tried those yet, but I wanted to use the gripping primer because I've heard so many great things about it. So I'm going to go in with that, and I got this like little bitty sample from Sephora. This is actually what it looks like. It looks very silicone-y, if that's even a word, but I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of that on. It's very goopy. You see that? It's really goopy. So I'm only going to use probably like I would say a little less than a dime size for my entire face. It's very sticky. Look at that. Put that all over. It feels like, I can feel it on my face. It feels very tacky, but it doesn't feel like that between my fingers. It feels very silky between my fingers. So yeah, it feels really tacky. So that's probably why it's called the gripping primer. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and use maybe a little bit of the blurring primer for my pore area. So it has some tint to it, but I'm gonna use just a little bit of that in my pore area to see if it kind of fills in those pores. It's not too bad. We'll see how it works with the foundation. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with the Mercier Flawless Lumiere Radiance Perfecting Foundation. I have mine in the shade 3N 1.5 Latte. It is a bit light for me right now. I did put self-tan, but it seems like it's going away. So I'll just bronze it up and make it look like just a little bit more bronzy, because when I put it on, it is going to look a little bit lighter. But without the self-tan, this is like the perfect shade for me. Okay, so I'm going to use the Sonia Kashuk sponge. I just put like 1.5 pumps. It looks really thick, but it really isn't. It's very lightweight on the skin. So I'm going to go ahead and just dab that all over my face. Press that into the skin. And honestly, that 1.5 pump really doesn't do much for my skin. So I have to actually put on a little bit more to get a little bit more coverage. So I'm going to go in with 2 more pumps. And I know it may seem like a lot, but it really isn't. This stuff is so lightweight. The last 2 times that I've worn it, I really liked it. I mean, I really, really liked it. But like I said, I didn't wear it for a long period of time. So I want to see what the longevity is with this foundation. But it gives pretty good coverage. It's not completely full. And I just add a little bit more like on the center of my face, because that's where I need the most coverage. See how beautiful that glow is? It's just really pretty. I'll take a little down my neck. Actually, the color doesn't look too bad because some of my self-tan has gone away. All right, so that looks pretty good. Like I said, it's not a really high full coverage foundation. You have to build it up. I may go in with just like 1/2 pump and put that a little bit more on the center. Even though I am adding more, it really doesn't feel like I'm adding a lot more. It's just super, super lightweight. All right, I think that's gonna do it for now. So for eye primer, I don't have a new eye primer, so I'm gonna go in with the MAC Prep and Prime 24-hour Extended Eye Base. This stuff is super good, and it holds all of that eyeshadow in place. I'm just gonna put it on with a brush. This brush is basically from Wet n Wild. So I'm going in with this new Citi mini palette, and the name of it is Coco City. Okay, here's what the palette looks like. It is somewhat of a warm palette, but it has like some really beautiful like light pink shades in it. The colors seem like more of romantic colors, if that makes any sense. Very soft, very matte. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this palette today. I'm gonna start off with a Morphe M513 brush. I'm actually gonna place this shade right here all over the lid. It's just a light beige, or kind of like a light cream color. And these don't come with a mirror, so I have to use a mirror. So I'm placing that all over my eyelid. And these are very powdery, but if you tap off the excess, you'll be okay. So now I'm going in with a Morphe M433 brush, and I'm gonna go into this shade here. And this is more of like a, looks like a soft tan shade. And I'm gonna use that in my crease. My stomach is growling and I'm so sorry. I haven't eaten this morning, but I've had coffee, so I don't know why it's making all that noise. It's not like it's super empty, you know what I mean? Okay, so I'm just bringing this in the crease and above the crease. You see right there? It's such a pretty shade and it's blending really well. I have had a couple of these Citi mini palettes and they've worked really well. I haven't had any issues with them. So I'm gonna go ahead and go into this shade right here, and I'm gonna use the same brush and kind of deepen up the outer corner with that. Right here. On the outer corner, but I'm coming in just to the center of the lid in the crease. I'm using a little bit more of this brown because I want it to be a little bit deeper than what it's coming off as. So I'm having to go back into the palette to deepen up that eyeshadow. I'm just gonna go in with this flat shader brush, and it's by Lamora. It's just an old brush that I got from Amazon. And I'm going into this pink shade right here. And I'm gonna put that all over the lid. Now remember, these are very dusty, so always tap off the excess before you put it on your lid. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back in with that Morphe M433 brush. I'm gonna add a little bit more of that dark brown, and I'm gonna tap it off, and then I'm just gonna kind of blend it with the pink. So just like that. Just very gently blend it. You don't want a lot of product, you just want enough to just blend it. I'm going to take this Morphe M513 and I'm just going to blend everything at the top so I don't have any harsh lines. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and put this Becca, it's the Anti-Fatigue Under Eye Primer. I'm going to use that under my eyes, and I just use my finger with this. And of course, this isn't new to me. I love this stuff. It is something that I've been using for a while. I did purchase the Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer. I got it in the shade True Beige. I haven't really heard much about this Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer. I hope that it doesn't crease on me today, because today's my husband's birthday and we're trying to go to brunch this morning, and I really don't need to look like a hot mess before brunch, so I'm hoping this concealer will work. I'm gonna go in with just a little bit at first, and then if I need a little bit more, I'll add a little bit more. And I'm going to use a sponge to blend it out. That's really yellow. So this is really, really yellow. It looks like it gives good coverage though. I'm going to add a little bit more right here. It looks nice. It doesn't look bad, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to go in with my Tarte Shape Tape in tan and medium. I'm going to mix those two together and do some spot correcting. So I forgot that I had a setting powder from NYX, and it's the Can't Stop Won't Stop setting powder. I have it in the shade light medium. So this is what I'm going to use to kind of brighten up the under eye, since it's looking kind of yellow. I hope this works. The powder itself looks yellow. So I don't know that I want to try this. Let me see how it, I'm going to test it on the back of my hand. It's not too bad. See, it's really brightening. I'm going to go ahead and try this to set my under eyes. So I'm going to use just this brush, it's a Morphe E49. I'm just going to dab that in there. Oh yeah, that brightened it up really nicely. It canceled out a lot of the yellow. So that powder doesn't look too bad under the eyes. I am going to set my face with this Super Stay Full Coverage Powder Foundation by Maybelline. I don't normally use powder foundation on my face. I have used powder foundations to actually set my face, so I usually go in with like a light hand. So I'm going to go ahead and use this, and I'm just going to use this Sonia Kashuk powder brush, and I'm just going to dip it in there and set my foundation. This might work for me because you know how I like full coverage, and since I didn't really get full coverage with the Laura Mercier foundation, this might provide a little bit more full coverage for me. And the color is perfect. Ooh, it looks really soft. It looks beautiful on the skin. Oh my gosh, this powder looks so nice. Really like it. Okay, so looking at the eyes, the under eyes still look a little yellow. So I really don't want to mess with it. I don't know what to do. Let me think. Okay, let me go in with this Laura Mercier blurring powder. I'm just going to put a little bit on there because I don't like that it looks yellow. But so far the concealer is holding up really well, and that powder is really nice. I just think that that yellow concealer is just steadily trying to peek out. So I'm just brightening it up with that blurring powder. So I just went in with that. Okay, the next thing I'm going to use is this Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and this one is in Sunkissed Bronze. So this is what it looks like. I have the first one that came out, the first bronzer. I ended up getting the deeper bronzer, and now I'm going to try the Sunkissed bronzer. Now there's two other shades of this that I want to get. I think they're both new to the line, so they do have them on Ulta's website, and Ulta just posted a 20% off coupon today. My friend Jules texted me this morning. Actually, we were texting this morning, and she was like, hey, did you see the 20% off? And I was like, was it off Prestige brands? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah. That's not good for me, guys. So anyway, she told me about the 20% off coupon, so I plan on getting those bronzers with that 20%. But this is what the Sunkissed bronzer looks like. Isn't that gorgeous? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in with this Sonia Kashuk blush brush, and I've been using this for my bronzers, so I really, really like it for that. I have cleaned it off as much as I can, so it is cleaner than normal, and I'm going to just swirl my brush in there. Ooh, that's pretty. And of course it has that really beautiful coconut beachy smell, which I love. It's a little bit more like on the red side. Not red, but it's more on the, you know, like on the warmer side. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the deep bronzer. But I love this bronzer. It's gorgeous. It looks like it has like a little bit of shimmer to it. So I guess that's why it's called Sunkissed. The shimmer's not really like a heavy shimmer, but it's just gorgeous. Look at that. It's so beautiful. And honestly, I probably could use this as a blush. But I'm going to go ahead and go in with a deep bronzer, and I'm going to go underneath that Sunkissed bronzer just to kind of chisel out my cheekbone. And then I'm going to go over the parts of my forehead where I use the Sunkissed, just to blend it. But those two bronzers go so beautiful together. I don't think I'm going to need blush today. I think I'm just going to leave it just like this. And then I'm going to take a little bit down on my chin, my jawline, and down my neck. Let's go ahead and finish off the lower lash line. I'm actually going to use that brush that I used, the Lenora brush that I used on my eyelid. And I'm going to start off with this shade here. And then I'm going to go from this shade to the darker shade. So I'm just going to kind of mix these two together, but I'm going to go with this one first. I'm going to go in with the darker shade and blend those together. Okay, so for highlighter, I have two highlighters from Wet n Wild. One of them is called Bloom Time. And this one's kind of like a peachy pink. And then this one is called Hustle and Glow. And this one's more like a gold shade. So what I'm going to do is go in with Bloom Time first. This is new to their line. And if it doesn't look as, I guess, as glowy as I want it to, then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and go in with the Hustle and Glow. All right, so this is what it looks like. And I'll swatch it for you guys. That's it right there. So I'm going to use this Real Techniques setting brush. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to need the Hustle and Glow. Look at that. Gosh, that's beautiful. Wow. That is gorgeous. Wow. I'm going to show y'all the Hustle and Glow because I'm just curious to see how it looks. If you hear noise in the background, guys, my daughters are awake. They're getting ready and I don't know what they're doing. They're making a lot of noise. Oh shoot. This almost spilled everywhere. As I was taking the piece of tape on top of the sifter, as I was taking it off, the whole thing came out. Oh shoot. There it goes again. All right. That's messy. So let me show you. This is the sifter part, but this thing is not secured. This is like super gold with like a peach shift to it. It's this bottom one right here. This is actually very pretty, but it is super messy, and I don't like that the sifter's not secured in there. So I'm not sure about this, but it is a beautiful shade. I'm pretty sure I have more than one highlighter that's really close to that. But this one that I have on, it's gorgeous. I love it. So let me go ahead and do my eyebrows, and I'll be right back to do lips. Okay, so I've done my brows. I'm gonna go ahead and use the Bobbi Brown lip liner because it goes pretty much with any of these lips that I'm gonna show you. So I've got 3 Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit lipsticks. I have them in the shades Chic Got Real, which is really cute. It's like a pinky mauve. And then this one is like a beige nude, and this one is called Send Nudes. And then the last one I have is Peach Stole My Look, which is really cute, and it's peachy, very light, creamy peach. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the Chic Got Real and use that. It's a more pinky mauve shade. And these aren't liquid lipsticks, they're actually the liquid high shine lip glosses. Very pigmented. I'm gonna go ahead and mix it with the Peach Stole My Look because this was kind of like too pink with this eye look. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay guys, this is the finished look. I am going to be checking back hopefully twice throughout the day, but I will be wearing this probably for about 6 to 8 hours. It is about 9:30 in the morning, so I will try and check back at least once. I'm hoping to check back twice, but because it's my husband's birthday, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it as many times as I would like to. But anyway, so far everything looks good, but we're going to see throughout the day how these products really held up. Okay, so let me go ahead and get started with my day, and then I'll be back to give you guys an update. Okay guys, I'm doing a quick check-in. I'm probably not going to check in anymore this evening because we're actually going to dinner. And honestly, I want to take this makeup off, and I'll tell you why. The area right here, my T-zone, got super oily today, and I think it's because I used that blurring primer. I really felt like that was actually the issue. So that's something that I'm not going to probably purchase, and I'm not going to buy because I usually have a hard time with those type of primers. They usually have to be something that really sets into the skin. And yeah, I'm just not loving the blurring primer. And the other thing was I used the Maybelline Super Stay Full Coverage Powder on top of this foundation, and throughout the day it got super cakey right here in this area. It just looked horrible. I went to Nordstrom today and actually saw some of the people that work there that I usually see, and one of the guys said that my makeup looked really heavy. So right there, that tells you it looked really cakey. And he wasn't rude or anything, guys. We were talking and I told him I was trying out a new foundation, and he's like, well, what do you have on there? And I told him, and he said, yeah, it kind of looks heavy. So the foundation itself, I've worn with 2 powders. I've worn it with the Fenty and the La Mer, and I've never had that issue with the cakiness. Now I will try the foundation one more time and try it for a long period of time with those other powders that I use, because it did look really nice, you know, the short time that I wore it. So I want to see if it just lasts with those powders throughout the day. The eyeshadow, I love, love, love the eyeshadow. It's perfect for, you know, a natural look. You can even kind of beef it up and, you know, smoke it out with that brown. So I really liked the eyeshadow today. And then the Wet n Wild lip glosses are phenomenal. They're so pigmented and they look beautiful on the lips. I don't actually have any on right now because I ate food, so I didn't reapply. The highlight, I did get a lot of compliments on this highlight. People were asking me at the makeup counters what I had on, and I was like, you guys, this is Wet n Wild. So they were really surprised, and I'm telling you, I love this highlighter. Let's see, what else did I use? Oh, I love the butter bronzer. It's like a perfect shade for me. You know, I can wear it just by itself like I did today because it looks really warm, and I could use it like as a bronzer and a blush at the same time. So I love that. And two more things that I want to mention are the Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer and the Can't Stop Won't Stop powder. It's the setting powder. My eyes look really crepey right now. It's just really drying. That is a matte concealer, so make note of that. But this concealer, of course, was way too yellow for me, so that unfortunately did not work for me. The powder kind of wore off. It just didn't work as well as I wanted it to. So the Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer and the setting powder are going to go back. So yeah, guys, that's it for me trying out these new products. I hope you guys enjoyed this type of video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys for being here, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.